Around the association, around the NBA, couple hot topics. NBA Cup continues to roll.
Yeah.
Cavs, Boston Celtics, the two top teams in the East, they met. They have another game coming up here in a few weeks. We're going to talk about where we're at on both of those squads. Yeah. But first, let's start with the 76ers from Philly, a little south of here. What's going on?
This is unbelievable.
Yo, they're legitimately the worst team in the NBA. Well, Embiid has been out. Paul George in and out. Maxey hurt. That's a really big bummer because I love his game. McCain is the silver lining here, but they had a team meeting. It comes out that Maxey, Tyrese, the young fella, stood up to Embiid and said, hey, how about you stop showing up late? How about step number one to getting things on the right track? How about you start respecting the meeting times and everyone else's time in the squad and start showing up on time?
90s NBA players in disarray reading that. You're the leader of the team. You want to be considered one of the best in the league. You want to go down the history books and we're late? I mean, you're the leader of the team. Did he want to win anything that bad? He gets the Olympic medal that would have happened with or without him. Let's just call it down the middle. He's coming back with this newfound Joel Embiid 2.0, talking to reporters in the way he's talking about, disrespectful. He's saying that I've done everything for this city. I'm sorry, Nick Foles has a statue. Not the BFG. I mean, this is crazy because Maxey's kind of a leader by his play.
Does Foles have a statue?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Foles has a statue, baby.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Foles has a statue in Philadelphia?
Foles has a statue.
Does Doug Peterson?
Yeah, it's both of them.
It's them together.
It's like a Philly special joint? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like the moment of the play call.
Wow. I didn't know that.
This is just a town.
I must have been out of town when that happened.
Yeah, it's like this is a town.
Does it look like
winning?
Yeah. More than the Dwayne Wade statue. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, my bad. Continue.
But it's just, in all seriousness, this is a no BS town. The fans are diehard. You can't BS them. It's blue collar, so they want you to not take games off. I get it. He's put his body through the ringer. I'll give you that. But you haven't won anything. So to just take this stance that these cities should be showing you more respect, I don't know that I agree with that.
Well, I think it just pours gasoline on the fire because a lot of people don't think he comes out before the season and says, I'm not playing back-to-backs. So a lot of people already think he's not taking the regular season seriously. Then it comes out off the court, you're not taking it seriously because you're not showing up to meetings on time. You're not respecting everybody else's time. Then a story came out from way back in the day that Embiid, wasn't abiding by the rules. He was acting like prima donna. He was acting like a superstar already. So this isn't anything new for Joel Embiid. So on top of the team is getting crushed, you're not on the floor, and off the floor, you're an issue. So you're an issue off the floor, you're an issue on the floor, and you just got extended for the absolute supermax for the next 4 or 5 years. And this is the very beginning. It is a really, really...
It's a rough start, man.
No, it's not a rough start. It's a disastrous start. They're a disaster at the moment.
Now, if you had a coach that... I'm looking at Nurse going, Nurse is...
Well, that's
Nurse
the
is
thing.
back to health here. This is a guy that has a ring. He should have a little cachet in this locker room. And Paul George...
Does he have a statue in Toronto?
No.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, that's good.
Any other statues out there?
No, but it's just... this to me is fascinating because... Who steps up here in the hierarchy? Because Maxey is a budding star. Yeah. I don't know if he's a superstar, but he's an all-star. Paul George is what? Fringe superstar all-star? Guess he's a superstar, I guess.
I mean, he's a perennial all-star.
But he's late to the party here. He's still building rapport with these guys. Does he really want to come in and stand in the middle of them?
Well, this is the thing.
You have to fix this.
It's supposed to be Embiid is the guy.
Paul
George was
showing
coming
up late
to support Embiid, and then Maxey was the up-and-coming guy that would essentially be the 1A to Embiid. PG was a compliment. Now, Maxi's out, Embiid's not playing, Paul George is in and out.
You got one guy doing a podcast, one guy not doing back-to-back, the other's injured. This is a catastrophe.
Right now, Paul George has more podcast episodes than the Sixers have wins.
There you go.
3-2.
If you gave Nick Nurse some truth serum and put him on the podium, he'd be like, what do you guys want me to do? Like, all my
it's
guys,
on Embiid.
all my guys are out. Yeah.
Embiid has to switch his energy.
Yeah.
Hate to say it.
And another thing, the internet was blowing up about Paul George coming out and saying to JJ Redick, actually, hey, JJ, I'm on a minutes restriction. What are you doing doubling me? Did you see that clip?
Mm-mm.
So Paul George on his podcast, was it Podcast P?
Yeah.
Yep.
Came out and said he's clearly joking. He doesn't mind getting doubled on the minutes restriction, but he went up to JJ after the game and was like, come on, JJ. I had a laugh with JJ. I'm on a minutes restriction and you're sending doubles at me. Like, let me get into the game. Let me get going a little bit. And they had a laugh on the pod, and then people are in the comments and quote tweeting like, you're an idiot. You're soft. Accept the double, like, type of thing. But it's just like everything around that team is just negativity. If they were 9-1 and he said that, it's a ha ha ha.
This is weird though, because on paper they have, as you would say, the horses. They got the dudes. Milwaukee might have a lack of personnel. They don't have the depth there are, and there are a lot of guys in their early 30s. This team, even getting Yabusele from the French national team, they picked up role players. They added in a star.
Yeah, if you would have told me Jared McCain was going to be an impact guy in his rookie year, Yabusele coming from the French national squad, he's in the fold. You remove what was supposed to be, a guy making a lot of money that wasn't making a big impact.
Adding Caleb Martin.
And exactly.
And Paul George. Morey did his job,
yeah.
I think.
It's almost like, what do you guys, I put together a decent little roster here, and now it's just all going.
We might need your boy Shaquille O'Neal to speak up on his platform about this Embiid scenario.
Yeah, I mean they got to be careful because he feels strongly about Embiid already, and guys not playing and all that stuff. So
all right, let's keep pushing.
Let's keep pushing. Let's go to NBA Cup. How you feeling about it? We're 2.5 games. We're 2 games through, 2 more in group play.
Yeah,
I've
come around on it. You've been positive from it. Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great.
I think it gives. I keep going back to this college feel, but you change the court and you get teams like I can't get over some of these upsets, but there's been a couple already. You saw the Hawks, 15-point dogs. You said 16 at Boston. You got the Portland Trailblazers winning a game as 9-point dogs. So maybe from a betting perspective, there's some opportunities to take, I guess, a little bit of advantage of maybe some mispriced numbers because I mail it in Tuesday night, Blazers, T-Wolves is whatever, but paint the colors of the former Rose Garden, and all of a sudden we got an outright W. I feel like there's some value from the betting perspective, but you're getting effort, and you're getting an entertainment value, and effort and entertainment together is always a W.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I really love it. I think there's definitely advantages to take. There's some edges you can take advantage of in the betting market with the groups and the prices, and you can kind of look into the future a little bit. Like, okay, if they win 2 in a row, they'll own the tiebreaker. Like that type of stuff. The market is really hard to price because it's such a small sample size. It's only 4 games. You get 4 games to get out of the group, and then once you get into that quarterfinal, it's elimination. It's like the NCAA tournament. So like anything can happen. There's money to be made in the NBA Cup if you wanted to poke around. So I love it. I look forward to NBA Cup Tuesdays and Fridays. I think are the days. So I like what they got going on with the NBA Cup. Quickly,
yeah.
Cavs Celtics won. We'll call it Cavs Celtics won because they're clearly the top 2 teams in the East.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. How'd you feel about that matchup coming out of it, that regular season game in Boston, NBA Cup, and just talk to me about that overall matchup. Is that like the new rivalry? Is it? I mean, it's Knicks, Celtics, Cavs. That's must-see TV in the East.
It is. It's interesting because I feel like Knicks have owned the Cavs from a physicality standpoint for a couple of seasons, plural here, and then you watch kind of what they're doing under Kenny in that game, and that second quarter going to the Turner game, the Tuesday night one, Boston got in that rhythm. They're up, 15, 17 and a half?
They were up 20.
And old maybe Cleveland teams, not under Kenny, I hate to throw Bickerstaff into this, maybe would have just folded.
Yeah.
This team has a little more dog I'm seeing and a little more fight. You said it when we were picking our futures boards. Kenny got Donovan to buy in. I'll let you speak on it more, but, I mean, at least from a live betting perspective, that line got all the way up to almost 15 for Cleveland, and we know about how close it was. So a non-giving up Cleveland team sort of embodying their city, just fighting to the end, I think is going to bode well for a competitive East.
Over the last 3 years, we've seen teams go down 20 to the Boston Celtics and get absolutely buried.
Yeah.
And they fought back in that third quarter out of half, woke them up, and we're right back in the game. So
Did you see that just as much from a physicality standpoint in the tiny little things as much as, like, D. Mitch was lighting it up and a couple boys got it going? Like, was it more both sides than just making and missing?
This is what's interesting about that matchup. Early in the game, Boston tried to go to the cup, and they couldn't get anything done because of Jared Allen, because of Evan Mobley. And then when you throw Dean Wade back in the mix, he's 6'9", long 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Who supports them? That's the thing about hoops. It's a lot of things that don't show up. It's a rotation that helped your rotation a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why it's such a team game when things are going really well, because Dean Wade hedging just a little millisecond longer gives Mobley extra time to come over and get a block. No one's talking about that with Dean Wade. They're talking about Allen getting the block, but that's the type of thing that impacts, right? So the interesting thing is nobody in the league, I don't think, is going to be able to go and score inside on Cleveland.
Not even the Knicks.
The Knicks don't score inside.
I'm saying once they get Precious and Mitch back, I feel like
those two guys aren't buckets, though. That's why it's very difficult to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. The kryptonite is a team that can shoot it well and in volume, and that's Boston. But if you have an off day, there's no other way to be. The Cleveland Cavaliers going into the game were 28th in the NBA in three-point percentage allowed. They don't give up that many threes, but when they do, their looks, and they knock them down because Mitchell's a cone, Darius Garland's a cone. But if you're off or you don't have the shooters, you don't have the horses, the capacity, there's one way to beat Cleveland. You have to knock down jump shots. If you can't do that, you're not going to compete with them.
Do you think the days of pushing this team around are gone? Like the Bickerstaff Cavs are different than Kenny's Cavs?
Yeah, Mobley, I mean, that was the knock on Mobley was that, dude, you're 7'1", you're a big body, you have support in Allen.
He's a 21-year-old kid, though. You need to fill out. It's one of those, like, I guess, moments where you just need to fill out.
It does seem like he got paid. It does seem like, he's a big body and he's ready to go now.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this Cavs team keeps it up. And, yeah, at the moment, they're second-best team in the East at the moment.